Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Press Box. I am so glad you could join us in this edition. Let's talk to Randy Young, voice of Syrup Makers.
What? Wait. He has done it again, ladies and gentlemen.
We haven't even barely started the show.
That's That's a talented man
I'm
right
telling
there.
you. I'm telling you.
Why am I on your mind so much?
I'm telling you. I
He's
looked
afraid
there.
to turn the lights off.
Well, the
Keep him
lights,
away from
I have
the
turned the
switches.
lights off right now. I've turned the lights off. We want to start this again here. Randy Young, voice of the Yellow Jackets.
Who am I now?
Michael Best. I don't know.
No.
Somebody else announce this. Voice of the Syrup Makers. Jim Rayburn.
Voice of the dog.
Voice of the dog. I was going to say like
It's Michael.
the brains of the dog.
Are you
Something
new?
like that.
It's Michael.
Yeah.
We got a win streak going.
I'm telling you. Listen, I'll call you Michael to get, get a win.
I got a cousin named Michael.
There you
so
go.
that's
There
all
you
right.
go.
And he claims him. So there
Yeah,
you
that's
go.
right. That's right. Well, let
Not
me
Michael Best.
let me get you guys talking so we can get off this train wreck here. So let's talk Thomasville, Cairo, big win for Thomasville. Jim,
The
please
night
take
the
it away.
lights went out in Georgia.
All right.
In Cairo.
In Cairo.
Well, Cairo, I guess Cairo's part of Georgia.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes, it
We
is.
are.
Across the creek, you never know.
You're right.
All right. So just a great win by the Dogs.
It was a great come from behind
Great
win.
come from behind win.
We were, of course, both teams kind of swat the first touchdown. They hit the long pass for a touchdown, go up 7-0. We hit a halfback pass for 60 yards, tie it up. Then they go up 20 to 7 before we rip off an 80-yard run and make it 20-14. And that was Jaden Alston, and he's playing full-time defense, so he gave Jay a little break. But anyway, great ball game, very entertaining. You never knew what was going to happen. And then, of course, they helped us out. They had a bad snap. It rolled into the end zone. We got a safety, and then we got the ball at a 40 on the kickoff. And Michael said, "Enough's enough. Our defense is tired. We're going to turn the lights off."
Do we think it was
Makes
Michael?
sense to
I
me.
mean,
The defense had started cramping a little bit, so 15 plus minutes we're sitting there
the lights off. What?
and can't get no quit. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's asking us. I'm trying to get Michael, and he won't acknowledge anything.
So what happened to the lights?
I can
What
tell you,
was getting out?
he had a lightning detector button and a lights off button sitting right there in front of him, depending
Well,
on the situation.
We were getting a little tired, so I said, we'll cut them off and rest for a little while. That'll give us enough to get us to the end. Little did I know they were going to come out with the old 12-man defense to counter it. And now,
Game was over when that
so
happened anyway.
it sure was. 12 men.
The best play,
Yeah.
the best play in Thomasville's best play call in Thomasville's history might have been and sure enough, we come back up. We put Cam on the 15-yard line. Jay's behind. Jay takes the snap, turns and throws it to him. Our best wide receiver, Cole Shaw, a junior, at the timeout said, "Coach, they got 2 men on me in this formation," and he was on the side we were going to throw it to. So he said, "I'm just going to run back of the end zone." So he runs the back of the end zone, takes everybody away. When Cam catches the ball, he turns, and Jay's all by himself with 4 linemen in front of him.
Yeah.
So we walk into the end zone, and I found out that's a play that they've had for 3, 4, 5 years, just never had
used
the
it.
opportunity to call it, and it was a great play call. So we go up 29 to 20, and then we couldn't turn off the lights. So our defensive secondary
Put an
coach
extra
said,
man.
"Hey, let's make an umbrella in the back with 5 DBs."
Yeah.
And we pick it. DJ Thurman picks it off and goes 45 yards
Yeah.
for a touchdown.
And so that's what you're referencing to those who don't know. There were
Right.
12 men on the
Yeah,
field.
well,
which
got-
I wouldn't count on that, but
Yeah.
and Mike Hodge is just a great football coach. One time he said a long time ago, if you can't beat them, trick them, and they did. They tricked us twice, and then they had that long run. It was more than we could. The annexation of Puerto Rico, or whatever that play from the Little Giants
Yeah.
was.
What was
So-
there positives for you
Yeah,
guys?
what are
I
the
mean,
positives
did
out
y'all
of
have
Cairo that you thought?
Nothing. I mean, just nothing.
Don't say that.
Oh,
It sounded like
man.
your quarterback.
Well,
got
I
some
thought.
I got some positive for you. Your stadium's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Even
I
your
think
press
it
box,
looked pretty.
even your press box was better.
Well-
but the ice chest with the trash in it.
Yeah.
I thought that was
That
a
was
little.
for
That
you,
was
Jim.
my touch.
That was for you.
Michael
was
did
the
that.
least I could do, the very least. And but
Literally.
no, I thought that we kept, going back and looking at it, every time we scored, they answered. But we didn't quit. We fought right to the very end, and kept coming back. And to clarify the light situation, we have a new lighting, and when it was turned on because of the storm that hit at 6 o'clock or 5:30, when they turn on the lights,
It reset the
inadvertently,
timers.
reset the timer, and nobody noticed that. And the timer, most normal games get over before 10, and we had another quarter to play because there were 30 penalties in the game.
Yeah.
And the crew just mismanaged a lot of stuff.
And I don't want Dr. Robin Hines to get mad at me again, but I'm not going to criticize the officials. But the game never could get in a flow.
No.
For all the, I've never seen so many defensive holdings and illegal men downfield and holding.
And ineligible,
ineligible.
illegal substitution when nobody's huddling up. you know?
And then there was the first time out after halftime, they charged it to Cairo, and Coach Coleman said, I didn't call a timeout. He said, well, Coach, I thought y'all called timeout. I said, no, well here you got one. Go ahead and use it, So it was a very mismanaged. I thought it just never could get in the flow of things. And in a high school game, you can throw penalties all night. Let them play. Let them play, But I'm not saying it was Cairo. It was both sides.
Unless it's something blatant, let them play.
Yeah, I think we had like 14 penalties. They had 15 penalties, or the other way around. Anyway, it was almost 30 penalties.
It was tit for tat. It was
Yeah.
right there together.
And there were a lot of them. They picked up the flag. Like you said, they said we got illegal substitute. Oh no, they don't. Okay, y'all play.
And I think that's one thing too. The flow, I think, is very important
It is.
because it's a spectator sport. We want people to come out there and
It's a
buy
momentum
tickets.
sport. It's a
a
momentum
momentum sport, and it's a problem for high school and for college.
But
too.
that game, every fan, I hadn't talked to any Circlemaker fans, but every Townsville fan said that was the best game they'd been to in years. Because it was
just back and forth.
Because it was back and forth. Of course, we scored the last 29 points. I don't want you to overlook that. We scored the last 29 points.
But still, it sounded like two pretty evenly matched teams is what it sounded like. I mean, for the most part.
Well, let's go into let's spin it forward then. Or do you have something? You got one last thing here?
That's the second time we took a freshman quarterback over there making his first start. And won a,
First time he actually belonged to Thomasville.
Oh, okay, all right.
The other one's Cairo.
No.
That was the other one.
The other one did not belong to Cairo.
All right, let's talk about you got Bainbridge coming up. Real quick about Bainbridge, then we'll talk about Godby for Cairo. What you got on Bainbridge?
Bainbridge is very, very similar to what they were last year. We're not as good as we were last year. Of course, we had to beat them last year with a second-string quarterback because Shannon got hurt on the first series of the ball game. So, we're not as good running the football yet because we don't have that depth at running back. So it's going to be tough over there in Bainbridge. The only thing we can hope for is it's a flood and the ball floats a little bit, and we can maybe they'll turn it over some. We might pick up some and score. It's going to be a tough ball game.
Yeah. All right, Cairo, you got Godby. Give us a preview of this game here.
Looking at Godby, of all the schools in Florida, Godby's one of them, and I'm telling you, they are. And
They're one of them.
They are one
They
of
are
them.
one of them.
And so, we're going to be honoring last year we had a huge fundraiser where we asked 100 people to give $1,000 each, and we actually had 105 people give $1,000 each. And so we're going to recognize those people this year before the game and thank them for that big fundraiser.
That's going to take a while.
Well, I'm going to be calling the names,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
We'll
true,
be
that's
through in
true.
a minute, turn the lights off, and get ready to go.
That's right.
But,
Hopefully they come back on.
and they'll come back on.
Just saying.
But so
Just have them flickering while you're doing it.
we have, and when that happened, that was kind of neat, wasn't it? When
Yeah.
it would come back on. But, we need to get rolling, and we got 7 home games this year, so we need
That's
to take
gonna be
advantage
good.
of it. Heard there's a chance of rain, which we haven't had any rain, I guess, since the last game.
Yeah.
Last week.
But Townsville Cairo games that get rain usually is prior to the ball game,
Yeah.
before the teams get off the buses. Because the lightning detector kept you in the field house for a little while, but
Didn't hurt the crowd.
didn't hurt the turf either.
No, that was a good thing.
Yep.
We got to play. So.
Another classic game by Cairo and Thomasville.
So a pitcher stays at home for 3 straight years.
So congratulations to the Dogs. Also congratulations to Colquitt County. They're 41-13 winners over Tift, and a big game playing Lee County. Thoughts on the Lee County game? Randy, you were telling me about them.
Yeah, well, Lee County has a couple of key injuries. Their starting wide receiver, I cannot remember his name, and also the running back, which is being recruited by everybody. He's a sophomore. I know one of his names is Usmain.
Okay.
But both of them are hurt and won't be playing. And I think that plays into Colquitt's favor for sure. This ought to be a really, really good football game between two programs that have just kind of separated themselves a little bit in their particular regions. Colquitt's got it going on. And against Tifton, I mean, Tift County scored first, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And it's just like any other time you play a Veer offense. If you can weather the storm at the beginning of it, then you got a chance of being able to kind of compensate. And that sounds exactly what Colquitt did. I mean, Tift got the first punch in, but then it was all Packers after that.
Yeah.
No big surprise. Tift County's struggling this year.
Yeah. Big win by Colquitt again. I think a lot of people are interested in that Colquitt County going
If Lee
to
was-
Lee County.
If Lee was healthy, this might be a heck of a
Yeah.
ball game.
Yeah.
It'll
I'm
be-
sure if you might move in this week.
But not from out of district.
They don't have anybody out of district.
Nobody out of
Let's-
district.
Let's point that out. All right. This may reference things. We're all always make the joke. This is the grumpy old man show, and I'm the grumpiest of all old men.
He's the youngest one here, too.
But
by
I'm
the way.
still
I just
grumpy,
want that
and
out.
I'm an old man in training at heart. I'm grumpier than the rest of y'all because I definitely can't remember names. So I feel like I
Or
qualify.
jobs.
Yeah, or job title. Any changes? What are the changes you'd like to see in the game of football? That you've seen over the
Grumpy old
past.
man,
So here we
grumpy
go.
old man, you missed Central.
Can we go with Central before we do
Oh
that?
no.
So,
We'll
so
get
the
back
order,
to it.
so
Central.
the
We'll
order
come back
doesn't
to it.
matter.
No, it
We'll
doesn't
come
matter.
back to
We'll
it.
get there. We'll
Come
get there.
back to it. It's all good.
Okay, we don't need that. What we got? That was just a suggestion.
I mean, I'm just keeping you on your toes.
well, I'm trying to keep with the program.
Yes.
That's a
yes.
whole
What's, what's your suggestion?
I don't know why I look
My
at it. 'cause I
suggestion was we follow the program, but I guess we're not. So I just love officials, and I just want to tell them how much
You're
I
gonna get
appreciate
me in trouble, Michael.
I appreciate them. They do a great job. It's not a job I would like to have, and my hats are off to the officials.
Okay. All right. So
Is that's the change you'd
That's-
like to
that's
see in the
the
game
change.
of football?
The change I would like to
I
see
read it as
is
changes
I
that
would
have
like
been
them.
made in football.
I would
what,
like
what
to
are
like
changes? Maybe, and I do see changes in terms of referees getting more training, getting more. There's more emphasis on that than there has been. So that is a change. I
It's
do
not
like.
working.
Damn,
I'm not saying
these guys
anything.
are throwing shade,
I'm
man.
not saying anything.
Let me throw one that I really think needs to happen. We need to do away with a pass interference call with a pass that cannot be called. If it is blatantly overthrown or underthrown, that cannot be pass interference because there's no chance of the kid catching the ball.
It's
Yeah.
still called in college, even though they have
I
that
know,
rule.
I know,
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, to have a successful pass play, you got to have a decent pass and a
Yeah.
catch. If the pass is uncatchable, it cannot be pass interference.
And right now that is a confusion point, but there is no uncatchable. It's pass interference.
I mean,
whether or
literally,
in
you
high
can
school.
throw it
Not in
up
high
into the
school.
stands.
And I don't like the fact pass interference is not an automatic first down.
Agreed. How can it not
That
be?
got us against y'all, and then it got Cairo against us one time.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
understand. I mean, it should be. It's like a personal foul to me.
Yeah, you
Right.
shouldn't be incentivized, and to me, the rule within football that I don't like is you're incentivized. You should never be incentivized to have a penalty.
Right. I
And
mean,
there's
right
a lot
now,
of times that you are.
Anytime the ball is thrown more than 20 yards, just knock the guy down.
That's right.
I mean, just knock him down. The worst thing that's going to happen is a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah.
15.
Or 50, but still, not an
It might
automatic first down,
It
though.
might not be a first down.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And you know what else, and it hadn't happened to us, but when there's a running clock situation, the team that is getting the running clock on their behalf should not be able to call time.
Amen.
Yeah, that's a good
We're
one.
trying to get this game over
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you're getting
yeah.
beat bad and you're
Yeah.
calling timeouts.
Or the other thing too is just if a coach is trying to get different personnel on there, okay, well, let's don't be so strict with the play clock. Just
Right, that's right.
Just get him on
Let
there.
him- let him
like,
play.
And
yeah,
that-
again, that's the pace of
Yep.
game.
At that point, the team that's winning is trying to get as many young kids in
Yes,
the ball game
that's
as
right.
they
Yeah.
possibly can
And
get
that's
in.
right.
And all coaches will tell you that's one of the hardest things they do. It's
Right.
like getting your second string guys on for
Third string
guys
guys.
Making sure
on
that-
the special teams.
Making sure that everybody plays.
Yes,
Right. That's
that's
tough.
That's not an easy thing to do. Well, speaking of tough, Thomas County Central, don't want to forget you guys, looks tough as well.
We're right here, right
We're
now.
Okay,
jumping
so
back
we went
up
to
to number
4, now
3.
we're back to
Back at
3.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
35,
You got to
14
remember he
winners.
went to Brookwood.
Yeah, that's right. Hey,
4, now 3.
that's right. Oh man, I don't know if Brookwood's going to claim me, y'all. It's like Duke and Richard Nixon. Duke doesn't claim Richard Nixon anymore. So let's talk Thomas County Central. Please talk, so I don't have to.
Solid win. Yellow Jackets showed up, played really, really well. Defenses kind of dictated the tempo of the game early on, and we were able to block a punt that rolled down to about the 30-yard line or so, and took it on in. And from that point on, it kind of snowballed. 21-0 at the half, 35-7, basically with about a minute to go in the game. They block a punt that rolls into the end zone and dove on it, but we ended up with about 340 total yards. They ended up with about 160, 50 of it on the ground on 27 carries. So a good night for us. I mean, the guys showed up and played consistently again. Bainbridge is Bainbridge, big line of scrimmage, and I know that they have I don't know if they're getting their first string quarterback back this week or not, Jim, but the second string guy that's been playing is an athlete. Now, he's a good looking kid. And he played well. It's just that our guys played well again. So far, so good.
Yeah, Central's just back-to-back, just stringing together good games.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see your team doing.
Yeah.
Fire.
Well, he's got them playing at a high level right now. The kids have bought into what Coach Rogers has brought, and he has done a really good job, and the staff has really done a really good job of putting kids in position to maximize their strengths and mixing the play calling up. I mean, we ran the ball, threw the ball, special teams were solid. Anyway, right now, again, playing at a high level and hopefully can keep it going. And then we're going down to play Childs. Childs is a 7A school. Jim, the Dogs have played them. I think have y'all played Childs?
No.
Okay, I was going to say, I couldn't remember if you did or didn't. But they've lost 2 games by a grand total of 3 points. They lost their first game in overtime to Wakulla, 25-24. They lost last week, playing in Jacksonville, 30-28, to a big Ribault school that's pretty good. They're playing at home, and that's an advantage for them. Their visitor stands are about as big as this desk, and it'll be interesting to see because I know our folks are coming. Now,
Yeah.
The Yellow Jacket crowd's going to show up, and we went down there actually on a scouting trip this past week, and we're talking about all the radio stuff and the live stream, and we're going to have to bring a generator because there's no power on the visitors' side anywhere. So,
So I'm looking for stories coming out of that.
I
That'll
don't
be
know.
interesting.
Yep.
So.
Anyway.
All right.
Hopefully our guys just continue doing what they're doing right now, again, playing at a high level, and hope it continues.
All right, a couple other scores. Hopefully I don't skip them here. So, so Pelham had
This
to
is 5.
forfeit to Mitchell County. Mitchell County has Brooks coming into town, and then Pelham is going to go to Wilcox. Wilcox is 0-2. Also, Brookwood lost a big one to McClay, 46-7, and you're going to see how this team has matured. To see they got Stratford. A good Stratford team coming into town, so we'll see how they recover and rebound from.
Can we
from
back up
this,
just a second? I was going to ask
loss.
Jim what you heard about the Brooks and Cook game, because that if there was a big upset down here last week, that probably was the biggest upset of the week, I would say.
That's a big rivalry game for
Yeah.
those two county. And I know Brooks lost their running back against us, and I don't know. Evidently, Cook's getting better with their new head coach. He's very disciplined. Maybe he's getting them going. I think Cook scored late to put the game away, 32-28. But
That's a
that
shocker.
was a shocker to all of us. We kept watching that
Anytime
score.
you see the starting quarterback returning punts and kickoffs and stuff, you know that they're putting a lot on that kid. But Jim's always said that with Cook, you just don't know what you're going to get.
And Brooks is the same way when you know what they're going to get when they play Thomasville.
Right.
But other than that, you
Yeah.
don't ever know. It's
Yeah.
it's weird how that happes. So.
Big upset there, though. No way around it.
All right, did I get to everything, guys?
I think
I
so.
think you
We're
did.
finished up
All
at
right.
7. So
All
yeah.
No
right,
particular
we're-
order.
All right, we're going to hit the college game in just a minute on the press box. And we are back here at the press box. I'm going to try to do better. Let's talk, speaking of better, let's talk Georgia and their win over Oregon. Dominant win. Scored on the first 7 drives, is
Yep,
that right?
that's correct.
Dog fans over here. So
Not just scored, but scored touchdowns.
scored touchdowns, very efficient. I know we got a big Stetson Bennett fan here that's just going to talk about that.
Bandwagon jumper.
I know, and
let me clarify.
that bandwagon's big enough. So
In the middle of the game, I get a text message from this gentleman right here that says, I may have to reassess my thoughts on this Stetson Bennett. So at some point, the light bulb came on.
Based on
No
what I
pun intended,
watched,
Jim. No pun intended about the light bulb going on.
based on what I watched last year, I didn't have a lot of confidence
I
because
gotcha.
he got so crazy. But this year he showed a lot of confidence, a lot of poise.
Yeah.
And it
So
looked
you're
like
a believer
the
now?
players.
are you a believer now?
I'm
the
a
week,
Stetson
for the
Bennett
week.
believer for right now.
For the week.
Okay.
And you had heard at the end of the year Washington was going to transfer, and there was a couple
Yeah,
of receivers
yeah.
said if Stetson's quarterback, we're leaving. But they looked like
That's
they
not what they said. They said they weren't getting the ball enough.
And they said we're going somewhere else where we can get the ball, and I'm worried we're losing our whole team because of Stetson. But it looks like Looks
They're-
like it's going to be okay.
Georgia's fine, by
I'm
the way.
sticking with
This just in, Georgia is good at football.
Hey, we'll probably only drop to what, 4
Yeah,
or
well, I was
5?
going
If
to
that,
say,
yeah.
Ohio State, are they number 1 now?
The
Because
coaches
what
poll
an
has
outstanding-
Alabama 1, Georgia 2, Ohio State 3.
all right,
Ohio
should
State dropped, and they played the only team that played the
they
team.
played a pretty good team.
Well, Oregon was pretty good.
Not a top,
Although-
they weren't ranked though.
Although we'll see,
Well,
they
Ohio
were
State-
they were 11.
Notre Dame was number 5.
I
Yeah.
know. I know.
And you don't really, to me, the narrative is don't really look at preseason rankings
Right.
too much. But should Georgia be rated number 1 for this week?
They should have been rated number 1
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
in because
tradition.
they were national champions.
Yeah, I always
That's my
like
view.
One-
I always like that old
100%.
school
Till you
view. I
get
like
beat,
that.
you're number 1.
I agree with you
I like it.
100%.
Oh man.
They deserve to be number 1 after
Until
that
somebody
performance,
beats
so,
them.
Yeah.
Until somebody beats them. Or if they lay an egg and play really, really bad against somebody, and then you have an Ohio State that kills Michigan, or Alabama beats the devil out of Kentucky or something.
Would you take that back?
What's that?
That you agree with me?
Okay,
For my fans.
I concur.
I love it.
I concur.
Right. We're trying to get him in trouble with his fans. That's right.
The
Cards and love.
two people
they-
that watch me.
I'll just say I concur. I concur.
All right. So, just
But
quick thoughts on Georgia game.
Based
though.
on the performance on the field, I mean, they played as well or better than anybody. I mean, and this
agree.
Oregon team very well may be the 11th best team in the country right now.
Yeah, that'll
that-
be the question of how good Oregon is, but that doesn't matter. If you play good, no matter what the team
Right.
is, it shows.
And
Michael,
that could have
yeah.
been 72.
Yeah,
to
they
nothing.
laid up too. But Michael, final thoughts on the Georgia game?
I don't think we missed a beat, this week with Oregon, and Oregon's got an outstanding quarterback and has always played Georgia tough.
Really?
Appreciate it.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Both picks.
And it's
both
hard,
games.
kind of once you are who you are to a degree, that's going to be tough for Oregon to.
What'd you
kinda
think
see
of
what they can do.
Darnell Washington's highlight leap there? I mean, you're talking a 280-pound guy
6'7".
jumping over people. That's again unbelievable.
Those tight ends are amazing.
They are. They really are.
It's going to be fun.
Yep.
Well, let's talk FSU for a little bit before we get to yes, no. Big
FSU's
win.
back.
Big win
You're gonna chop
over
it. You're gonna chop it. You're gonna chop it.
LSU. Exciting win. What did you like best about that? I mean, obviously, other than the win, but like, what's a good takeaway for FSU in this game?
I thought they played well in all phases of the game except kicking.
Yes.
The kickoffs and the extra point or field goals. He made all the extra points.
Yeah.
But
He was.
my best takeaway was you got a kid from Ashburn, Georgia, catching 2 touchdown passes, played for Turner County. You got a kid from Osceola that played for Irwin County, scoring the rushing touchdown. So, people always say, you got to go to big schools to get a college scholarship. Well, there's 2 single-A programs,
Yep.
and their kids are playing
And
Division
both
I
of-
football. And both of them are good athletes.
Yeah, and Pokey Wilson has, they kind of recruited the transfer portal over him, and he responds how you want a man to respond, right?
Right.
He works at it, gets better. They don't win that game if he doesn't make those great catches.
Exactly.
Yep.
So really cool to see that. I really, I like seeing Jordan Travis really kind of step up, really try to make room in the pocket and look downfield. I think he did a very good job of that against a good LSU defensive line. So any other thoughts before we get to yes, no? I don't want to
Well,
skip
what you
anybody.
just said, their offensive line played well against that LSU defensive line. And I realize that LSU lost one of their big guys celebrating early on, but LSU's LSU. Now, if they don't have
Yep.
anything, they're going to have linemen. And I thought that FSU acquitted themselves very well against that defensive line. Michael disagrees.
You got something for
No,
me?
100%. I'm
All
with you.
right.
And
I'll
as long as Jordan Travis stays healthy, they got a shot. And,
Well, that's yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, man.
And they're
he's a player.
He's a player, and they have depth issues. He's got to stay healthy.
Yep.
You've got to be healthy on that defensive side as well.
Running
So,
backs look good.
yep, they
Yep.
ran hard. That was good to see.
Play calling late was a little suspect.
Yeah,
on the goal
yeah,
line.
yeah. That goal line play. I think you try to build culture, but at that point, I think sometimes you're like, all right, let's just
win
make
the
the
game.
smart play. Let's
Take a
just
knee,
win the
take
game.
a knee, take
Win
a
the
knee,
game.
kick the
Kick
field
the
goal.
field goal.
Yep.
All right, well, what never takes a knee, that's yes, no.
Here we
It's
go.
always playing hard.
do
So
it.
here we go.
Fans demand it.
Michael Best, Florida.
Which one?
I know. Michael Best.
True.
You already totally going to psych
Yes.
me out now.
Me. Wait, that's you.
Michael Best, Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson is great.
He is, yes. I'm
All
going
right.
yes.
Randy.
He's impressive. No way
I
around
say
it.
he's great.
Yes, he is.
I say he's great. I still want to see how he does, continues to develop. But
Yeah.
that game against Utah, very impressive win.
When you saw the Utah guys throwing up on the sideline in the second quarter, you
heat.
kind of thought they were in trouble.
The heat,
Yeah.
Yep.
humidity, really.
Yep.
I'll credit Florida with the most impressive win of the weekend. Utah's good. Utah's a good football team. So, Randy Young, Clemson QB, DJ Ugalele is great.
No.
Say no?
No.
No.
Pronounce that name?
Ugalele.
Ukulele.
Yeah,
Ukulele.
Ugalele.
He's not very good.
He's not. I say he's good, not great. He's got some work to do though.
Yep.
It's the same thing as last year. So
But the thing is, he's 2 years into this.
that's
Yes,
right.
I
That's-
know.
He's not
And,
going to get any better.
And that
Let's-
backup kid that got in there looked pretty good whenever.
Yeah,
he got
let's
in
give
there.
Dabo credit. He has been able. He did that with Kelly Bryant years ago,
Yep.
where he played Deshaun Watson over Kelly Bryant. So I think he'll make the move if he needs
Yep.
to. So Jim, sorry about this one. Bama at Texas won't be a game by the middle of the fourth quarter.
When Texas runs on the field, that might be the only time they.
That might be the only time it's close.
Might be only time they cross midfield.
All right, hey, you're saying Texas still
And
rebuilding.
I'm a Texas fan.
You're saying they're still rebuilding. You say no. It won't be a game in the fourth.
I think it will. Alabama has not been a very good road team in the last year or so. You look at the struggles they had last year at Texas A&M, at Auburn. What was the other game that they struggled last year on the road? Anyway,
Yeah.
the last year in particular, they were not very impressive on the road at all. So
But they're playing-
I'm not.
They're playing Texas,
I know,
not
I know,
Texas
I know.
A&M.
I know.
Yeah.
But I still contend that it'll be closer than a lot of folks.
Okay,
think.
so you say no. You say.
I'm going with my classmate.
All right, here we go.
I'm saying
You say it won't be much of a game.
So I agreed with him, and now you're the classmate.
know.
There's a lot happening here.
I'm going with
I
my
say it won't be a
classmate.
game in the middle of the fourth quarter. I don't think it's going to be. All right, Randy, LSU has a rebuild on their hands.
On several levels.
As a FSU fan, I recognize this. I recognize this
Yes.
where you think it's going to be a quick fix, and it's not.
Yes, and I'm telling you, like we said about the hiring of Kelly, I'm not sold one bit with that guy. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I don't know. Anyway, what you have to do is you have to sell the fans on a rebuild too. That's
Yep.
the problem. That was the problem with Willie Taggart. But go ahead.
But yes.
Does he have a rebuild?
He's got to rebuild. He's got to get your booty on the field.
Oh yeah. That's good.
The
That's
receiver,
good.
by the way.
Booty's got to get out there and get it done.
He's
Yeah.
on the
Check,
field.
check.
He just didn't get it done.
That was
get it done.
that was an odd thing to not see an All-American wide receiver.
Oh, man.
Get not many targets.
What are you doing?
I don't know what that
They need
situation
to work on
was.
special team.
Yeah, and special teams as well.
What are those?
LSU have a rebuild on their hands.
They got to rebuild. I don't know if they'll give him long enough to rebuild them.
Yeah.
He's probably wishing he had stayed at Notre Dame.
I think he's a good coach, but he better. You can't when you're rebuilding. You better prepare your fans and boosters of what you're doing. So you better figure that out.
Well,
in
and
a
those
hurry.
LSU folks, they are using Alabama as their
Yep.
measuring stick, flat out. And if he doesn't get to that point pretty quick, just like Jim's saying, he'll be gone.
All right, this one is for Michael. Here we go. Last one. Stetson.
Which Michael?
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Voice of the syrup man?
Yeah.
Voice of
See,
the- or the voice of the
I
syrup
told y'all I'm the oldest man here.
You really
right?
are.
I can't remember names or anything like that. All right.
Okay, give it to me.
Stetson Bennett will be the best quarterback in Georgia history.
According to how much improvement he makes between year 7 and 8. Right now, he's a good, strong 7-year starter.
I'm not saying he's the best pro prospect. He's the
No,
best
he's the
quarterback
best.
in Georgia history.
Got the biggest longevity. I say he's got a shot to be the
Well,
best.
that's the yes or no?
Yes.
You say yes, he will be.
He'll break every record. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're saying he's better than Matthew Stafford?
I'm not
and
saying he's better.
He's the best in QB.
He has surrounded himself with players that are lifting him up, and the scheme that they have built fits him.
Okay.
So
yes, I mean,
yes.
not saying he's a better pro prospect,
Right.
but in terms of Georgia history, the best.
Given what he's got
He'd be a
around,
great clipboard quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
If he wins 2 national championships, he'll go down as the best in Georgia history.
That's true, and nothing wrong with that. That's
or
the
even
fun
if he
of
makes a
college
good
football,
run
right?
at the national championship.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, seriously,
It doesn't
So-
cause them to lose the national
that's
championship.
exactly right.
It's always
That's
your
right.
Because Georgia fans have a long memory.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
They do.
Yes,
All
we
you got to
do.
do is underhand it to one of those 3 tight ends. You probably got 5 tight ends. We just don't even know about the other 2 on the bench.
Yeah, and brought
So-
them by,
Yep.
All right. Well, hope you guys get out there, enjoy some high school football, enjoy watching the band, cheerleaders. Get out there and support some good things going on in our communities. We appreciate you and appreciate y'all bearing with me. See you next week on the Press Box.